Please ensure the loan repayment is made. While I was at work, I unexpectedly received an email and quickly reached out to David, who calmly began to explain the situation. "Oh, sorry about that. I've fallen for someone else and decided to start a new life with her," he said. Furthermore, he revealed his plan to take the luxury car recently purchased in my name with a loan. Despite my attempts to dissuade him, my husband ignored me, abruptly ended the call, and became unreachable. In the end, David disappeared with his mistress, leaving behind substantial debt. As a mother to our 10-year-old son, I never envisioned such an unfair situation and found myself at a loss, unsure of what to do, my mind going blank. At 35 years old, my name is Linda, and my husband David is the same age. We were a family of 3, including our intelligent 10-year-old son, Tom. Tom had displayed remarkable intelligence from a young age, reading papers on the computer and seeking my opinion on complex topics. In contrast, David was unstable, never holding down a steady job. Despite my full-time work and concerns about our future, David had recently maintained a stable income for 3 years. Lately, he spoke often about making memories as a family, which led us to decide on buying a $35,000 camper van. However, due to David's inability to pass the finance company's loan review, I ended up taking the loan in my name. On the eagerly awaited delivery day of the camper van, I received an abrupt email from David stating that he would, graciously, take the delivered van since the loan was in my name and I would handle the repayments. Confused, I called my husband immediately, only to hear him confess, "Well, I've fallen in love with another woman and decided to date her. I intended it to be just a fling, but it turned serious. So I'm thinking of starting over my life with her. Bye," David said. Before mentioning the divorce papers we had discussed during a previous fight, he declared that he would file them, then unilaterally ended the call. That moment marked the first time I truly realized I had been betrayed by my husband, a shocking blow that left me reeling. Subsequent attempts to contact him yielded no response. When I returned home from work and checked the drawer where the divorce papers should have been, they were already gone. Along with his absence, he left me burdened with significant debt from a $35,000 car loan. Despite my repeated emails and calls, David never replied. Tom, noticing my unusual behavior, came to me after dinner with concern. "Mom, what's wrong? You haven't been eating much lately. Are you okay?" he asked. I forced a smile. Yeah, maybe I'm just tired." But Tom, ever perceptive, replied, "When people lie, they look up to the right. Lying is bad. I've noticed Dad hasn't been home for 3 days. Did something happen between you two?" Startled by his sharp observation, I took a deep breath and decided I could no longer hide the truth. I told Tom everything. He listened quietly, then simply said, "I see. It's just like Dad to do something like that. Aren't you sad?" "No, I kind of understood from how things were going." His words were calm, but I knew deep down he must have been hurting. While silently apologizing to Tom in my mind, I focused on working and tried not to think about the dreadful events. But my body betrayed me. My health began to deteriorate. One day at work, during a training session, I suddenly couldn't stand up and had to squat down. "Sorry, I can't stand up right now. I need to take a break," I told my colleagues, but before I could say more, I collapsed. When I regained consciousness, I found myself in a hospital bed. The doctor said I needed further examinations and admitted me immediately. Lying there, I felt pathetic. Was this really just emotional stress? Tears welled up as I stared at the white ceiling, watching the IV drip above me. Suddenly, Tom, usually so composed, burst into the room with a panicked expression. "Mom, what happened? Is it serious? You're not going to die, right?" I reassured him, "Of course not. I wouldn't leave my dear son alone." His shoulders relaxed. "That's good. Really, I was called by the school teacher and told you were in the hospital. I was so shocked my heart nearly stopped." Despite his maturity, Tom was still only 10 years old. In that moment, I felt a renewed resolve to recover for his sake. But my condition was worse than I thought. The doctor recommended immediate surgery, and I agreed. By the time I was discharged, a month had passed since David left. When I returned home, a demand letter for the car loan payment was waiting for me. Panic set in as I checked my bank account, originally $220,000, now reduced to just $33,090. David did this, I thought. I wanted to ask him to return the money, but I couldn't reach him. Without the camper van, I couldn't sell it either, and everything seemed to be going wrong. My mood sank deeper. Seeing my despair, Tom placed his hand on my forehead. "You look pale. Are you feeling sick again? You don't seem to have a fever, though. I shook my head. I'm fine physically, but your father took not only the car, but also all the money we had saved. I can't work due to my condition, and now we have no money. I'm at a loss. Tom's eyes lit up with determination. I see. Then I'll deliver newspapers and search the internet for work I can do. Encouraged by my 10-year-old son's resolve, I told myself it wasn't the time to be down. Sorry for worrying you. I can't afford to be weak. I'll change my mindset and do whatever I can, I said with a smile. Tom smiled back, then suggested something unexpected. Let's plan how to get the car back from Dad. How can we do that? The camper van isn't in your name, right? I asked. Yes, but what about it? He pressed. Then maybe we can... Tom began explaining an idea I hadn't even imagined. I had no clue where David was, but Tom reminded me of a GPS app we had installed on his kid's phone during a family hike a month ago. Both David and I had access to it, and apparently Tom had also installed it on David's phone. With this app, I can track Dad's location in real time, Tom explained. He's been moving around quite a bit. I hesitated. Really, but what if we find him and he just says something vague and disappears again? Tom smiled slyly. Don't worry, I've already taken precautions. While I had been in the hospital, Tom had acted on his own, pulling off something incredible. Not only had he tracked David's location, but he had even found out about his affair. All right, let's teach Dad a lesson for betraying us, Tom said confidently. Okay, I agreed. Let's start the plan right away. 3 days later, my phone rang. Hello? I answered. It's me. Please, I need your help, the voice said. Who's this? I replied, pretending not to recognize him. Don't be ridiculous. It's your husband. The police are questioning me about you, and I might have to go to the station voluntarily. Help me out. I quickly headed to David's location with Tom. To my surprise, it was a forest park near our house where camping was allowed. David was standing in front of his car, looking confused as the police questioned him. I sighed, feeling a strange mix of pity and vindication, and asked the police if I could speak to him privately. Inside the camper van, his mistress sat cross-legged, glaring. At us? Sorry about this, and thanks for coming, David said. But why did the police show up in my place out of nowhere? That's because I reported the camper van missing, I replied. What? Why would you do that? He demanded. Isn't it obvious? My car was stolen. David foolishly assumed that spouses couldn't press charges against each other, but I reminded him that he had filed for divorce, meaning we were now just strangers. Driving a stranger's car without permission is a crime, I said. Reluctantly, David handed over the keys. Tom then spoke up. Why did you abandon your family and choose to play around with this woman? Caught off guard, David awkwardly scratched his head. His mistress smirked. It's because I'm more attractive than your mother. He fell head over heels for me and decided to leave his family. Quiet, I didn't ask you, old lady. Dad, you answer, Tom snapped. Lisa went silent under Tom's stern tone. David finally admitted that Lisa had joined his company 3 months ago and they became involved during a welcome party. When she discovered she was pregnant, he decided to leave us and start a new life with her. I pressed further, why did you take the camper van? I quit my job and thought about selling it for money, but I figured you were using it, so I decided to go on a trip instead. At this point, I revealed the truth. Remember when Tom got lost, we bought him a kid's cell phone with a GPS app and we installed it on your phone too. I've known where you were all along. Later, I learned from Tom that he had pretended to get lost just so he could get the phone and secretly monitor his father. You really are a terrifying child, David muttered. I will never become an adult like you, Dad, someone who betrays important people without a second thought, Tom said firmly. His words left David speechless. Finally, I demanded, also, return the $220,000 and you withdrew from my account right now. That was our joint property as a couple. I don't have to return it, he argued. No, it wasn't. That money was what I saved little by little since I was single. You always quit your jobs midway, so we hardly saved anything together. I later learned that David and his mistress had squandered the entire amount. In that moment, I felt nothing but relief at having divorced him. So that's how it is, I said coldly. But if you stole and used the car and my money, that's going to be a serious crime. What? I just sent the police away, so it's not their business anymore, right? David stammered. I only said we would talk. I have no intention of withdrawing the complaint. In fact, I must add the theft of my money to the report. Mom, should I call the police now? I can do it with just one button, Tom said, holding up his phone. Lisa, David's mistress, had been silent until that moment. Suddenly, she tried to slip out of the camper van, but the moment she opened the door, she let out a scream. Standing right outside were her parents, their faces red with fury. Startled, Lisa stepped back as her parents shouted at her. "Ah, I'm sorry, don't be so angry, but why are you here, Mom and Dad?" she stammered. "I called your parents beforehand," I said calmly. "You... what? Why would you do that?" During my hospital stay, Tom had gone to David's office and tearfully told them, "My dad left with a woman we don't know, and my mom collapsed." Seeing Tom's frail state, David's colleagues became suspicious. They knew Lisa had left the company with David and gave Tom her parents' address. David and Lisa had been overly friendly at work, and there were even photos of them looking like a couple at the welcome party for new employees. When I learned Lisa was commuting from her parents' home, I visited them with a photo. They were shocked when I told them everything. Today, I had asked them to wait nearby. "How could you do this to me? This is the worst," Lisa shouted. "I don't want to hear that from you. That's my line," I retorted. Then I noticed her stomach. "By the way, you seem quite far along. When is the baby due?" "In 3 months," she answered hesitantly. I froze. "Wait a minute. That doesn't match when you met my husband. You two only met 3 months ago. What's going on here? It's not time for the baby to be born yet." David turned to Lisa, eyes wide. "Wait, what does that mean? Are you serious?" "Don't you get it? It takes about 9 months from conception to birth, which means the child isn't yours." "You're so foolish," I said. "What? Lisa, have I been deceived? You were going to leave me?" David's voice cracked. "Ugh, I almost got away with it," Lisa sneered. "But I can't help it now that I'm caught. You're so naive, David. You can't see through lies at all. Really, a fool." "Don't mock me. My whole life is ruined because of you. What were you thinking?" David shouted, but his voice was drowned in the chaos. No one stepped in. We let the ugly argument play out while Tom and I contacted the police again. As night fell, the forest park lit up with the flashing red lights of police cars. "No, really, I was wrong. I'm truly sorry. I'll work hard and never cheat again. Just don't arrest me," David pleaded desperately. "Dad, people don't change that easily, especially lazy people like you," Tom said firmly. "Exactly. Tom's right. I can't trust you at all. Reflect on your actions and pay for your crimes at the police station," I said. "If I get arrested, I won't be able to pay back the money. Is that okay with you?" he begged. "I don't mind. Pay me back after you've atoned for your sins. Take your time. Don't worry, I've already found you a place to work. There's Tom's child support plus the 220 you stole from me. I'm not sure how much it will all add up to, but you'll work and pay it all back." I turned to Lisa. "You might think you're just an onlooker, but you're an accomplice to David's theft. Be prepared for that. If David can't return the stolen money, you will." She shivered in fear. When she asked her parents for help, they refused, saying, "We disown a daughter who causes trouble for others." David and Lisa were taken away in a police car. Thanks to Tom's sharp thinking, we were able to punish them both. Though they were released soon after, they faced hefty payments to me. Through my lawyer, I claimed $20,000 in damages, and David agreed to pay $500 a month in child support. I also arranged for him to work at a subcontracting factory associated with my company, with his wages automatically deducted and transferred to my account. I sold the camper van and was freed from the auto loan. Since then, my health has improved remarkably, and I've regained my energy and focus at work. Tom helps with chores and errands, and I'm determined to keep moving forward strongly so my son can pursue the life he loves without ever giving up.